And it happens again. Another alligator attack and another fatality. How many is this year? This is like, what, 9, 10, something like that? Like ridiculous amounts. I want to preface, whatever you want to call it, by saying every time this comes up, I feel terrible for the people that it happened to, even if it's their fault. I don't want people to be killed by alligators. I don't want people to be killed at all. It happens, and every time it does, it's very sad, because I care about people, even if I think people are just don't think that much. It doesn't mean I want them to die. I was sent a video of a guy fishing, and he's recording, and all of a sudden there's a leopard right behind him. And then there's pictures of what's left of him afterwards. And it's a very gruesome thing. Which is like, holy crap. I'm glad I don't live in an area with leopards. And I was like, holy crap. I live in an area with alligators. I don't think anything about them. And they do this to people. But on that same token, I know to stay away from the water in most circumstances. And in this case, an alligator attacks and kills a woman who was walking her dog in South Carolina. North of South Carolina have had an influx of attacks recently. A woman who was walking her dog, was killed in an alligator attack in South Carolina Tuesday morning, authorities said, marking the second fatal attack in the county in less than a year. According to the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded at 9:30 Tuesday morning to a report of a possible gator attack near a lagoon bordering a golf course in the Spanish Wells community of Hilton Head Island. Oh, so like a really nice area. A 69-year-old resident of the community was located at the edge of the lagoon and appeared to be unresponsive, officials said. Rescue efforts were made and the alligator appeared to be guarding the woman, interrupting emergency efforts, the sheriff's office said. The gator was safely removed from the area and the woman's body was recovered. Deputies determined that the woman was walking her dog early in the morning when she was attacked by the alligator. And this almost always happens. The dog was found safe. Major Angela Vines, sheriff's office spokesperson, told the Associated Press. The Beaufort County Coroner's Office was performing an autopsy on the woman. In a tweet, South Carolina Department of Natural Resources said its biologists and officers are responding to the incident. Okay, congratulations. Yeah, they were responding. The incident comes less than a year after another woman was fatally attacked by a gator in Beaufort County. On August 15th, an 88-year-old Sun City woman was killed by an alligator at a lagoon near her home. I think that's the one where the gator runs out of the water after her, actually. If that's the case, that's, well, maybe you're moving into their area too fast. Fatal alligator attacks in South Carolina have never been reported until recent years. In 2020, deputies shot and killed an alligator that fatally attacked an 85-year-old woman in Kiowa Island, South Carolina. 2019, a man was found dead on Kiowa Island with the authorities believed to be in alligator bite marks, but it is unclear how the man initially died. In 2016, a 90-year-old woman walked out of a Charleston nursing home in 2016 and was killed by a gator, while a 45-year-old woman walking her dog was fatally attacked on Hilton Head Island in August 2018. Prior to these attacks, South Carolina had never reported a person fatally attacked by an alligator. So, that context did this right there. Think about those words. Prior to these attacks, I'm going to bold them. Prior to those attacks, South Carolina had never recorded a person fatally attacked by an alligator. What does that mean? That means prior to 2016, nobody had died reportedly in South Carolina due to an alligator. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think this one would be 6. So 6 since 2016. Now that is less than 1 per year. These are happening in bunches. But that's about, I mean, considering North Carolina or South Carolina's population and size, I mean, that's, Florida averaged like 3 a year at most until recently. And they're just going bananas recently.
Investigating a deadly alligator attack. A 69-year-old woman was killed this morning while walking her dog near a golf course lagoon. First responders removed the gator from the area. Last summer, an 88-year-old...
I can't stand that they do this. That's not an alligator. That's the second time in a row. The second time in a row where I've talked about an alligator attack, and they didn't use an alligator in their video. That's a caiman. That's not an alligator. It's like saying, police said a corn snake was found in the man's stomach, and that's probably how he died. And then they show like a 30-foot anaconda or something like that. It's not. That's a caiman. That's not an alligator. Sorry.
A woman was killed by an alligator in the same county.
Okay, so that was all they had.
But we're going to begin with an update on that.
Oh,
a terrible mass shooting in Philadelphia.
Never mind. Not what I wanted to talk about. But they always got to use a caiman for some reason. Does it look meaner? Like they have to use something that looks mean? I don't understand it. But with all that being said, that brings me to this. 4 fatal gator attacks in 76 days is a statistical anomaly. Statistical anomaly. Here's why it happened. I really believe we have more people creating conflicts for wildlife out of respect, appreciation, and interest than we do people just being jerks. Okay. Before I read this came out last year. Okay, so this is a little off. I want to see if this is, how accurate this is. My opinion is that they're going to talk about the population increases and moving into areas where these alligators lived. That would make sense. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to be here. Let's see. Alligators have killed 4 people in the Southeast in less than 11 weeks. An 88-year-old woman from Beaufort County, South Carolina, named Nancy Beckard, became the 4th person in the U.S. to succumb to an encounter with an alligator in less than 11 weeks. She accidentally fell in a pond while gardening on August 15th. 4 deaths in 76 days might seem a bit higher than normal. That's 1 death per night every 19 days. In reality, it blows the likelihood of getting killed by an alligator out of the swamp water. Only about 4% of alligator attacks in the U.S. are fatal, according to the University of Florida. If you apply that trend to this summer, that means 96% of people should have been attacked by a gator and lived, or more than 9 non-fatal gator attacks per week. Unfortunately, that's not happening. The idea that 96 people suffered non-fatal aggressive encounters with alligators in 76 days nationwide, provoked or unprovoked, is unrealistic. Instead, Florida residents have dealt with an average of just 8 unprovoked gator attacks per year over the last decade, or 1 bite every 6.5 weeks. According to the FWC, the South Carolina has seen 21 encounters since 2000, or just fewer than 1 per year. So what's going on? Are alligator encounters on the rise, or are they just being more lethal? New neighbors. South Carolina human population has grown by roughly 30% in the last 2 decades, specifically the population of Beaufort County. Every time I say that, I get hungry because I think of the Checkers Big Beaufort, and I don't even like that sandwich. I'm just fat. Home of the Sun City Hilton Head, the living community where Beckard resided, saw 88% growth from 1990 to 2020 or 2010, and 24% growth since then. Urban sprawl in the areas matches those statistics. Located right between where the Colleton and May rivers start widening and dumping into the Atlantic Ocean, Sun City Hilton Head, the surrounding areas, is home to some of the largest swaths of recent development in this coastal area. Yeah. Andrew spent a large chunk of her career just 6-minute drive from Sun City, Hilton Head. Yeah. So there's just a lot of people. There's a lot of people, a lot more people recently, all over the place, including Florida. There's Florida. There's the Carolinas. Not really as much in Georgia. I mean, I believe Georgia's losing population. I don't think it's gaining. And if it is gaining, it's not gaining the same way. And there's a lot of Georgia that doesn't have alligators, especially like the really busy areas like Atlanta doesn't have any alligators, at least that I'm aware of. I believe that they're just south of there along the coast. The Carolinas have them because they're a lower elevation along the coast, specifically South Carolina. And then like Louisiana and Mississippi are not gaining population the same way that Florida and South Carolina are. So like it completely makes sense why all these attacks are coming from these areas, because people move in here, they have no idea what the hell they're doing. There needs to be like a class, like this is an alligator. This is a pond. Alligators live in ponds. Don't walk your fruit dog next to the water where there are alligator ponds, because those things are everywhere and alligators want to eat your fruit dog. It's very simple, but like a lot of these old ladies would still be alive if that hasn't happened. And if an alligator goes after your fruit dog, if you value your life, don't try to save it. I understand that's your dog, but the gator's gonna grab you instead. And if you're an old lady who can't defend themselves, I mean, it's sad. It really is. I don't want these people to have died. But the proper precautions were not taken. These people need to realize that just because you move into an area doesn't mean it's going to be completely safe. It's not how the world works. I'm tired. One thing I get frustrated at is people being like, I need to make sure that these communities and these areas are safe. I want to be safe. The world isn't safe. It doesn't matter what it is. The world is not a safe place. You are not guaranteed your safety from anything. You could be in the nicest gated community and somebody could get in a car drunk and slam into you going 60 miles an hour. Nowhere in the world safe. You could be sitting in your house and someone drives through your house, or a drive-by shooting or anything. Not saying that those are things I hope to happen, because I don't. But the point is that nowhere is safe. So if you take that out of your mind, that no matter where you are, no matter how safe you should be, if you take into account the fact that the world is not a safe place, and you'll have your head on you don't have to be constantly worried about everything. Just pay attention when you're walking your dog near the water where alligators live, and less people would die. In my humble opinion. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think I'm off base here, because like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to have to make a separate playlist for alligator attacks. Seriously. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay watch.